this moment to talk about the wedding I've got on this week. So I've just been to the flower markets today to pick up, as you would have seen, a bunch of beautiful flowers, and I've just had the last lot dropped off to me from my grower. A lot of the time I go to the markets on Thursdays, but I couldn't do that because tomorrow is a public holiday, it's Waitangi. So yeah, I've got everything, and I've got little cuts. There's so many reasons why I wouldn't suggest DIYing your own wedding flowers, and cutting your hands on thorns is one of them. So I just wanted to check in and say this wedding is going to be quite small, nothing like the last one I did in December. It's actually mostly just bouquets, some buttonholes, and then a couple of table garlands. So it's the smallest wedding I'm doing this entire season. So yeah, it'll be quite focused on the bouquet, so I'm really excited to show you some more about that. Here's my baby. My favourite dress that you've all seen a million times. Going now, I'm going to St. Luke's, my favourite shopping mall. Is it? I do love Sylvia Park. I look really crappy and sweaty, but my grower took so long to get here, and it's 3 o'clock, and so hopefully I can avoid a little bit of school traffic, but not optimistic. Why is there a fly in my car? Anyway, just got to St. Luke's. I'm gonna go return some shoes because they split. Anyway, I paid like $200 for them, so I don't want to have shoes I can't wear that I've had for less than 6 months. Does anyone else park near Kmart at St. Luke's? That's where my nana used to park. We used to go to St. Luke's with Nana all the time, and that was, yeah, her car park area, so it's where I still park to this day. It's about 3 o'clock on Waitangi Day, which in New Zealand is the 6th of Feb, and I am ready to go downstairs and keep working on this wedding. Wow. Chill out now for the rest of the afternoon, enjoy Waitangi Day. My brother and his girlfriend are coming over, and then I'm not going to do any more of the bouquets. When I have a smaller wedding like this bride's, I have the luxury of time, so I've only got bouquets, buttonholes and some tables to do, which means I have more time tomorrow morning to do things when they'll be fresher, which is the ideal situation. So buttonholes and headpieces, things without a water source, you want to do as close to go time as possible. If I've got too much to do the next day, I'll do them in the night before. You might have seen that in my first video, and then they'll go in the fridge. but today I have the luxury of not needing to do that, and I can do it tomorrow instead, so that's good. Yeah, so I'm really happy with these colours. I hope the bride likes them. This is probably my favourite colour scheme at the moment. Now, I'm not sure if anyone is a big fan of this wedding. If you are, if you're watching this and you're like, oh my god, what are these? I'm going to go through some flower ID with you. This here is a blush rose. This is called Quicksand. It's a Colombian rose. This here is a David Austin. It's called Juliet. David Austin's are very expensive roses, so if you like this, bear in mind you will be paying a premium. It might be worth asking your florist for alternatives. This is a spray rose. See, it's lots of little roses. This one is called Chocochino. This is a spray chrysanthemum in blush. This is white stock. This is white Nigella. It's beautiful, but it sheds, so I'm not sure if the bride will end up getting any of these. However, I'm not too bothered by that, because if she doesn't, she'll get these. And I think these are so interesting and textural and beautiful, and they give the bouquets a little something special. This is a beautiful big dahlia. It's kind of squished, so with the restriction of the width of this, it doesn't let the top of the bouquet spring out, but usually it'll be more wide and the flowers will have more breathing room. But this dahlia is called Café au lait. Café au lait, I don't know, whatever's French for coffee and cream. Coffee and milk, whatever. This is another dahlia as well. It is a biscuity dahlia. What else do we have? We've got some beautiful little straw flower in here. Can you hear that? ASMR. This is a chrysanthemum. This is a straw flower. See, very different. And this is a spray rose called White Bubbles. Down here we've got our white hydrangea. It's not for this wedding, it's for something different, but I thought I would include it. And if you're a fan of these little tea guys, I use these as a beautiful transitional bloom. This is Flowering Viburnum. Absolutely adore it. And I've made a big fucking mess. You might remember that I went shopping yesterday. I went to St. Luke's and I grabbed a couple of things. Such beautiful little singlets. They were $6 from Kmart. I got it in this beautiful chartreuse. It's one of my favourite colours in the world. And then also from Kmart, they had these beautiful satin pajama pants. So bloody comfortable. And so I bought these two singlets to wear with them alternately, depending on what I feel like. And I also stocked up on some of my Holy Grail makeup products. So my favourite foundation in the world is this one, Makeup Revolution Eyewear Shade F4. And the concealer I wear shade C3 because I like to have a little bit of a lighter under eye. That's some of the wounds that I have so far from floristing. So my nails are in pretty good condition this time. But brides beware, if you do your own flowers, you will have buggered hands. So fake tan will get washed off, your nails will get chipped, and there's a chance you'll have bleeding, sore hands. So just bear that in mind. I got this Essence mascara. I need a miracle help. I don't usually wear mascara because I usually get eyelash extensions, but I'm trying to save money, so I just thought I'd get a cheap little mascara. I usually love Essence products, so I was interested to see how true this statement is. Plus lash tinting complex. Too good to be true? Probably. And my Holy Grail nude lipstick by Mellow Cosmetics. Mellow is amazing. I wear Ibiza. It's my absolute favourite. One of the things I like about Mellow as well is it's a New Zealand brand, so designed and developed in New Zealand. Unfortunately, they're made over in China, so it sucks that they can't be manufactured in New Zealand, but that's just the way life goes. I mean, you know, most good things in this world are made in China, so bless up. Yeah, this is the shade. It's pretty much my MLBB, which my colleague Laura taught me. That means my lips are better. MLBB, baby. Yeah, love that for me. I think altogether this cost me over around $110. 17, 6, 6, 13, 14, 14, 20, 20. If you think I was doing the math that whole time that I was saying those numbers, then you got another thing coming. Also, just wanted to note that flowers are messy work. This is what your top is most likely going to look like, so don't wear anything special. This is why I don't try to look cute when I do weddings.
Stop it, you two. You be nice. Minnie, don't don't you pull my boy's hair out.
Mum, Wolf is just as bad.
No, he's not. It's her. She is just a little bitch.
Waking up and my eyelids are all puffy and swollen. I was gonna wear makeup and try my new mascara and stuff, but it's not worth it. Tips and tricks I've learned over the years being self-employed that no one taught me, that I had to learn on the job. One of them is that bouquets are going to be top heavy, so it's really important to secure the base of them, otherwise you'll have the bouquets ready and perfect and then as you're driving they'll topple over. That happens to me anyway, you know, all the time, because that's just the way cars are bumpy when they drive on the road. So that's okay, it doesn't faze me, because I know how to fix a bouquet. If it tips off, I just put more water in the bottom, and if a petal's bruised, I'll pull the petal off. Brides don't often know that, so they'll pick the bouquets up sometimes and just pop them in their car and think everything's going to be, you know, absolutely fine when it's not, because it's too top heavy and you've not secured it with anything. I always provide a bag or a box or anything that I can to secure it, but you know, a huge thing is I can't control what happens to the flowers once they leave me. That's always scary because it has happened in the past that I've had complaints like, oh, it fell over and it bruised and that snapped, but there's nothing I can do about it because you didn't follow my instructions. So I'm not doing this all the way down the stems. That's purely just my taste. I don't like binding the entire bouquets. Most of my clients don't like that either. 20 years ago in the 2000s, it was all the rage to have like a few colour lilies and have them bound all the way down the base. Most of my clients know that because they come to me for my style. They'll specifically, you know, want to work with me because of my little tastes. Yeah, there's risks that come with that. Yes, it looks better, which is what my clients want, but part of the job of floral tape is to protect the stems and lock the moisture in. So obviously I'm not doing that. All of my bouquets come in water. There's no way in hell I would send a bouquet to a bride without water. So it's always in water in a little baggie until go time, which protects it. But after that, once again, I can't control what happens to the bouquet. I always suggest that on the bridal table or anywhere throughout the venue, you have some vases filled with water, and prettier than this, so that after you've done with photos, ceremony, all that sort of thing, when it's reception time, you put the bouquets in the water and you've got yourself, you know, 4, 5, 6 different centerpieces to use throughout the night. It ensures that the flowers are going to last. If you get married at 3 o'clock but your first look photos are at 12, by 3 o'clock when you're walking down the aisle of your bouquet and it's been out of water for 3 hours, it's going to wilt. I was just starting to feel a bit overwhelmed in this space, so I just did a bit of a sweep and a clean up. Pro tip to brides, see this? That's pollen. So many flowers have it on it and you need to, like, that's gonna stain. If that falls on your dress, it's not coming off. Do not mindlessly play with your flowers. Ever since I started making these videos, I've noticed how much I mumble. I need to enunciate. There's a lot of art theory that comes into making a bouquet, you know, colour placement and all that, but one of them is a really basic one. That's rule of thirds. So a lot of bouquets should be, your stem should be one third the height. anything else would be heavily stylized, you know. The more you know. And now it's time for buttonholes. Buttonholes are a tricky thing. They are mini. They're really subjective. A lot of people don't like them. I actually don't like making them, to be fair. They're really fiddly. And that's a classic print and petal buttonhole. It's made after the bouquets. It is made in the style of the bouquets. So I studied floral education because we all know I'm obsessed with education. This isn't the traditional way to make them. This isn't the proper way. I haven't used any wire. A really important part about education is that I know the right way to do it. So I know my limits when I'm altering the traditional method. It's really important that you nail those basics before you move on to start free forming everything, at least in my opinion. A pet peeve of mine is when clients say, oh my god, your buttonholes snapped, that, you know, they weren't good. If they were wired, they wouldn't have snapped. That's part of why we do wiring, and I don't do wiring because the stems are exposed. I can't wire, otherwise you'll have ugly sharp wire sticking out the bottom. For that reason, when I drop off these, I tell all my clients, you don't need to take the pin out. This is like an Anzac Day poppy. Pinch whatever part of fabric you're putting it through and you just stab. Obviously I've got boobs to support it and it's going to stay on. You don't need to thread it through any little buttonhole, you don't need to take that out. Yeah, that's just a little word to the wise. Today's wedding is at Markavina. Markavina is such a staple in the wedding community. I'm doing 4 weddings including today before I leave for Japan. 3 of them are at Markavina. I love Markavina. But you know, as a florist who's done it a million times, I will never get married there because I'm not going to work on my wedding day. Not that I'll ever get married. And that is the groom's buttonhole. A bit more space. Fun little story. I once had a really rude bridesmaid. Like, as I was leaving, the bride's like, oh, where's the buttonholes? And the bridesmaid goes, oh, they're in the weird takeout boxes. These aren't weird takeout boxes. They're corsage boxes. It keeps them fresh. It seals in the moisture. Okay, car's packed. The boot is all packed full of flowers and I'm gonna head off now. Just arrived. That only took me 20 minutes to get here, so nice and quick. Speedy Gonzalez. Yeah, so at Markavina, I'll give you guys a little tour if you've never been here before. Those table types were really simple, but I think that they're effective, you know. They're not really over the top and chunky, and I love the big chunky beautiful statement pieces as well. But if you look at that video, then you'll see how packed the ceiling is with all that ivy, and I just don't think sometimes you need all of that much on the tables when you've got so much going on in the ceiling. It's about balance. You don't need to overwhelm your guests with statement florals a lot of the time, especially when you've got a venue like this that has so much greenery. Bearing in mind that after the garlands go down, these are the napkins. You would have seen the napkins are already down, and then you're going to have wine glasses, plates, cutlery. Then the bride's having candles go down as well, and you know, then you've got handbags, you've got elbow space, you've got all those little things. So in terms of the tables being too empty, simply not the case. I'm gonna enter a thingamajig. What's it called? I don't know what it's called. A photo. I'm gonna enter a photo of the example that I was basing this on. Yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna go sit in the car and wait for the father to come pick up the bouquets and buttonholes.
2 hours later.
Just got home. I'm really tired. Like really tired. I'm not usually this tired. I made some scrambled eggs. I'm gonna go eat them and then hop into bed and watch YouTube and relax. I might have a nap. If you were weak, you were fake.